Good morning. How are you all? So I sort of feel like the summer has kind of started. This past weekend was so amazing. I just on Saturday, I was on my way up to Central Park to see that robot heart foundation. It's called, well, it's sort of like a Burning Man kind of thing that they were doing in Woolman Rink in Central Park. But I went around the corner from Rivington onto the Bowery, and there was this blue truck. It's called the Abracadabra bus, rather. It was like a bus. This woman has this amazing voice. Her name is Laura Newman. Apparently they're out of Brooklyn. I'd never seen them before. It was so hippie trippy, amazing. I mean, I just wanted to stay there all afternoon, but I knew I had to go on. But the people were fabulous. It was this whole sort of like release the nipple things. There was all these topless people, but it was just so amazing. And the music was just phenomenal. So that was kind of like, so that was Saturday, early afternoon. Then, oh, and by the way, the other thing I'm gonna go into that later. So then I went up to Central Park. I didn't get a ticket to, I don't really care for that electronic music that much, but I love the crowd. So anyway, I went up there and it was so over the top amazing. So I've got some great photos and I've got some video of that in the blog today. I mean, I just feel like the color schemes were just absolutely astonishing. So anyway, so that was really great. And then I also noticed how many, just in walking around the neighborhood, how many kind of major in terms of gigantic spaces, new restaurants are going to open, later this month and then also going into the summer. So there's this gigantic space. It used to be a restaurant called Vandal, which closed early in the pandemic, but I think it was kind of played out before that even. Anyway, they've been working on that, and I've just found out that there's this Brooklyn beer garden. It's like a brewery, an enoteca called Ainslie, and they're going to be opening there in the spring. And they come really highly recommended. So I'm hoping, because nothing's ever really survived on the Bowery when it comes to restaurants. So, hopefully they're going to break that unlucky streak. Then today, which is Thursday, I was walking up to Whole Foods and I saw there's this other gigantic space. It used to be the Polana Brewery. Didn't last long either. This is called Belse, I think. Oh God, where did I put it? Belse, which is like a plant-based restaurant, and I mean it's their training today. I went in there, took a couple of photos. They're also in the blog. Looks gorgeous. So that's great. And then this is not entirely in my neighborhood, but it's on Bond Street, so it's just like a few blocks away. One of my absolute favorite LA restaurants, which is called Gjelina. I've only been there once or twice, but the food was so amazing. And they're going to open up at 45 Bond Street sometime over the summer. So I'm really excited about that. And I want to just also mention, because I think I love it when sort of really serendipitous kinds of things happen. So the photo that is the lead photo on the blog today is of this incredible looking couple. Well, on Saturday, before I ran into the Abracadabra truck, I was standing outside of my building talking to one of my neighbors. And out of this corner of my eye, I saw this incredible looking couple kind of come out of Freeman Alley and hop into an Uber. But I didn't get time to whip out my camera to take a photo of them because they were just beyond. Anyway, a few hours later, I'm up in Central Park snapping photos of all these people going into this robot heart thing, and here they come. And again, because they're like with a whole group of other people, I don't get a really good photo of them. I did get a photo, but not a great one. So that's Saturday. Sunday morning, I'm doing my trash duty out on the street at, like 11 in the morning or something. who comes up the street but these two? Again, they're staying in Freeman Alley at that Airbnb. And they were so nice, and let me take all these pictures of them. And they're just so gorgeous. One of them is from Argentina, and one, I think they said they were from the Netherlands. So they passed me by, and then these other ladies who were also staying at the same Airbnb, these like lovely sort of British ladies, and they're like, oh my God, who were those people? They were in the elevator with us. We were wondering who they were. So anyway, so I just filled them in on the little bit that I knew about it. Anyway, so that's all the kind of great stuff for the summer. Now, I also see, and I'm often sort of like a little more pessimistic than other people, but I'm starting to see sort of this reality check starting to come in as a lot of these pandemic boom brands, we all know about the Peloton and now Netflix and so forth, but now more and more brands are coming out, and the guidance they're giving, a lot of them are in tech and sort of more startups, but they're giving the guidance, and clearly the bloom is off the rose. So there's a lot of like layoffs. Like there's this brand Cameo that a lot of sort of celebrities or semi-celebrities, you could, during the pandemic, you could get in touch with them and they would do a custom message for you to send like to a friend for their birthday or to cheer them up or whatever. They're laying off a quarter of their staff. Both Etsy and eBay are saying, things are really slowing down on the e-commerce front. They're saying it's like a reset of e-commerce, which, is affecting everybody, like, Meta, which is Facebook, has put a freeze on hiring. So Amazon likewise is, just so all these, there's still substantial companies, but there's definitely a realignment going on. And I think, for the last 2 years, we've really had, employees have really had all the power has been with them. And I think we're now sort of starting to see that kind of righting itself. I don't think, anybody should have all the power, but it's just been so one way. And I think this is it'll be interesting to see what happens in the next year or so. And then the only other thing I have to report on, which is, I don't know how I feel about it now, but like the green card, still haven't gotten it. I'm giving myself until May 10th, which is supposed to be a lucky day for me, astrologically, and see if anything happens. And then I'm going to have to decide if I'm going to have to cancel my Faroe Island trip and see if I can get a refund or not. Because who knows when this green card situation is going to get resolved. So that's it, my lovely readers, and I will check in with you next week. Have a great weekend. Oh, and Brad's coming back tonight, so that's really cool too. And then he has his opening on, I think it's the 12th is kind of the opening, the 13th the gallery's open to the public with his new show, so I'll have something on that next week as well. Oh, and by the way, I did get a ticket to that Korean thing that I wrote about last week. Apparently, it's sort of funny, like all the tickets were sold, but then that first day, which was Monday, we had a huge rainstorm in the city, and apparently all these people who had like booked, the tickets free, booked tickets, didn't show up. So then they released, you could tell they were really miffed in their message on Instagram, this Korean, it's sort of a government thing, I think, really. So they released all kinds of other tickets, and I got one, so I'm going on Friday. So if it's any good at all, you'll see some of that on the blog next week. And that's it. Ciao, ciao, my loves.